week.
I'm
I
excited.
hope y'all enjoy this and it looks good when y'all see it because we put a lot of stuff together right before we started taping. Shut up! You wasn't supposed to give away the secrets. I tell you what I want. Saute, Saute. That's a movie we have to review, by the way, ladies. Just saying, we gotta get in it, but we'll get in the foodie chain later. Today's show, we are tackling an American institution created in 1938 by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, has become America's superhero, represents truth, justice, in the American way. You know him, you love him. The blue leotards with the red drawers with the yellow belt, which really is not a great fashion look. It's giving. Ugh. With the red cape with the S on it and the S on his chest, which actually is not an S, we found out about 9 years ago. It actually means hope. That's not what it says, sir. It's an S. Um, you know who we're talking
It's
about.
Kryptonian, okay?
I don't give a crap
I'm sorry.
if he's. I don't give a
Google it.
crap.
It's
I don't
hope.
give a crap if he's from the Iberian Peninsula. There's a callback from you. He is wearing an S on his chest. STUVWXYZ. I think it's like the 19th letter of the alphabet, if I'm guessing right. Superman is who we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, created in 1938, was a under DC Comics an exceptionally successful comic series. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things about Superman, who are favorite Superman. I'm not going to give it away. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First question on the table today, ladies. Favorite Superman actor in the movie series?
Christopher Reeve for me. No hate on the others or Henry Cavill, but that's the one that drew me in was Christopher Reeve. And I also watched the documentary, which made me cry. So then, like, double whammy.
Well, the Delilah is short and to the point right now, Tina. And then that means it's your turn. Wait a minute. I know who yours is, but I'm not going to give it away. But please proceed.
Henry Cavill is my favorite. Just I in no hate to Christopher Reeve or any of those. I mean, my favorite villain is in the Christopher Reeve movies. But for me, it just I liked them going more into his story of like how he grew up and how he became who he was and all of that stuff. So everybody has their own one, and I'm not going to lie, I also do like myself a little bit of Henry Cavill. So he's very nice to look at.
It's the shirts. It was the wardrobe. Tina told me off
Well,
the
and I
air.
also here's the thing.
We'll
That's
get into
also
that
I
too.
like that suit better, like the overall suit better
Yeah,
in
I
in
understand
the
that.
reboot. So that's kind of the reason why. There's a lot of things that the original did very well, and I think there's things that the reboot did better. So we can talk about that stuff later. What's your favorite? Henry, not Henry. God, I've got him on the brain now. Andy.
Whoops.
Hold on a second.
I've done my job. I've made him laugh on camera today.
You know what? When she said that, she was not even thinking about a Superman
No.
movie. She was thinking about a movie where maybe a certain fight took place in a bathroom and somebody reloaded their biceps. Fop, fop, ready for that fight. Um,
Yeah, I
you
remember
know
that
what, you know what,
Mission Impossible movie.
So
you
funny.
know what, you know what,
Actually, I
I
knew who he was before that, and not just from Tutors. So, like,
but
I
still,
yeah,
you gotta admit, I mean, even as a dude, I was like, yo, I'm gonna use that if I ever get in a fist fight, and I know that ain't nobody has nothing in their waist or nothing like that. I might do that. Fop, fop, pop them out.
No, no,
Get,
no.
I gotta, I gotta get mine a little bigger or wear my shirts tighter.
Henry
One of the two.
Cavill's best role is The Witcher, and I'm not happy with
he
his
wouldn't have
reboot.
gotten that role without Superman.
Yeah, but
That was his best role.
I'm going to have to
I
go.
agree.
I'm
I
going
do
to have.
think out of his roles, The Witcher is one of his best. Though I also liked him as the man from Uncle. I
He was
liked
good
that
in that.
movie. Not a
That's
lot
a
of
good
people
movie.
like that
That is a
movie.
good movie. That's a good movie.
All right, now
Sorry,
that
we're
we've gone on the
digressing.
Cavill tangent,
We're digressing. Anthony's supposed to tell us his favorite Superman. Here we go,
yes.
Anthony.
Now I'll also say this: I haven't seen the current Superman. I haven't seen the new one yet,
True.
so
I am.
I'm basing it on what I've seen.
Same.
I
Same.
am gonna go with I'm actually gonna have to go with Henry Cavill too, because he wrestled. This was the first time you actually saw in a Superman movie where he wrestled with. I mean, they tried to do it in Superman Returns. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but where he wrestled with his entire life, the realization that he was different and trying uh to not let that loose, because he didn't know if, you know what I mean, he was uncertain of things, and he had Ma and Pa Kent trying to raise him as best they could for who he was, essentially literally an alien that fell out of the sky in a fiery box. But yeah, so that one 100%. And then as he became aware of his powers and what he could do, being able to speak to the dichotomy of his existence. Like when he had the
Yeah.
conversation with the colonel, he's like, I'm just as American as you, Colonel. I was raised in Kansas. You know, I was like, okay, that's my dude right there. That's my dude. So definitely the Henry Cavill, 100%. Now, I still got to give love to Christopher Reeve, because without the Christopher Reeve movie, we might not have gotten Henry
Exactly.
Cavill as Superman. So you can, if you can get a hold of Richard Donner, Tina's going to write a thank you letter to Richard Donner at some point. So thanks,
I don't know.
Mister.
I don't know. I feel like Chris, because I watched the documentary and they went over his regime. Like the fact that he looked good for the 70s, and he was
For that time,
he was a
yes.
handsome man. And the thing
Yeah.
is, I was always like kind of into that physique where he was buff, but he was buff like in a normal way. Because that was on him. There were no paddings. They talked about that too, how like none of that was padding on Christopher Reeve. That was all Christopher Reeve, you know.
They showed before and after pictures of him too when he started working out to get ready for that role.
Yeah.
It almost was literally, remember the comic books with the
different
98-pound weakling, and then he starts doing the Charles Atlas workouts and he comes back and kicks sand on the bully on the beach.
Oh my God, yes. People forget he was the original workout guru. Yes, you're right. That's who he learned from.
Yeah, so really, really huge big deal. And that, I mean, well, let's go back. Let's roll it back for a second. Let's roll back to the first movie. And we're all old enough to have seen it in the No, Delilah, I don't think you would have seen it in the cinemas, right?
No.
Okay.
But it's the one that I remember. You know what I mean? Because that was the first one I saw. Even though I did go back and saw the TV movies, because technically there were TV movies that had like two actors from the 40s and 50s. So George Reeves, no relation to Christopher Reeves, which is kind of funny. And,
well, he was on the television series, and
and then they did two TV movies. That's what I mean. Like
they did. Okay, that part I did not. Okay, just told on myself.
You guys remember why the television series got canceled?
You're good. No,
he wanted more. He wanted way more money than he was worth, or something like that, right? Or did it have to do with his death, manner of death?
Ding, ding, ding.
That makes sense. Yeah,
because he died, and there was a lot of questionable behavior that came out, and so they kind of.
Yeah, it's another Hollywood conspiracy as to whether or not someone helped him into the great beyond, or he helped himself into the great beyond.
I got it. Yeah,
because there was some sex scandals involved.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. But yeah, George Reeves and Christopher Reeves were not related, which is kind of, irony. Don't you think that's kind of weird, right? You had the TV show, because he did do the TV show the longest, right? That's how people. And then you had the movie, and it's Christopher Reeves, and they're like not even related.
Well, here's another tie-in for you while we're talking about this. The TV show. The TV show actually, the actress who played Lois Lane, who goes by the name Noelle Neal, also made a cameo in the first movie. If you remember where he was running alongside the train. And the little girl says, "Mommy, that man's running beside the train. He's keeping up with the train." And her mom says, "Lois Lane, you make up the craziest stories." That was Noelle Neal, the original Lois Lane.
Oh my God, that's I like when they tie in all the that's great.
That was that to me was chef's kiss to Mr. Donner for doing that.
That was
That's
nice.
one of those Easter eggs that if you're not paying attention, you really miss it.
I love it.
But it was great, and for us, it was like, wow, this is so much different than watching George Reeves on TV, who's obviously like obviously laying on top of a flat board and they're blowing a fan in his face.